Welcome to my very first Pittsburgh Steelers 2026 NFL mock draft. This mock draft will consist of 4 rounds, but 5 selections overall, and players selected are based off what I want the Steelers to do, and not necessarily based on needs. So, with that being said, with the first selection in round 1, pick number 21, the Pittsburgh Steelers select wide receiver Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. Looking at Tyson, he stands at 6'2", 200 pounds, and he's a player who looks like your number 1 wide receiver out there. But he has gotten injured the past 2 years, missing time, and I believe this makes him fall in the draft. Without him getting injured, he may be a top 15 pick, but I think he slides all the way down to the Steelers because teams are going to be worried about taking him, so they're going to take other wide receivers who are able to stay healthy instead. So, with that being said, Jordan Tyson falling to 21 would be the best player available, and actually the best wide receiver I believe that will come out of this NFL draft. So, if the Steelers could find a way how to get Jordan Tyson, it would be great. Whether they have to move up to get him or stay still, Jordan Tyson should be the pick. And some of you may be thinking, why wide receiver? Well, even though we have DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman, Jordan Tyson being added to this group will be the number 1 wide receiver down the road. Kind of how JSN took over after Metcalf and Lockett left. So, before I get into the breakdown of why the Steelers selected Jordan Tyson in round 1, make sure you subscribe to this channel with notifications on for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also like this video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, looking at Jordan Tyson, his strengths are route running, big play threat, versatility, and speed. But his concerns are kind of going against press coverage and his catch radius. Let me explain. So, Jordan Tyson, he combines route running, size, athleticism, and big playability, which gives him a clear path to be a wide receiver number 1 in the Steelers' offense. His route running is a savviness. He understands the details of how to attack defenders, forcing them to give him the spots and that he wants to get to. And his big play threat, he has a natural ability to create explosive opportunities, whether catching the ball short and providing the yards after catch, or going up and mossing defenders to bring in the deep pass. He also has versatility because he has the athleticism and IQ to play at multiple alignments. Tyson is effective and could be impactful both as a slot receiver and also the outside receiver because he has speed. Tyson has speed and deceptive speed that allows him to be in constantly position to win against defensive backs and get past them and create an explosive play opportunity vertically. However, the concerns, because those are the positives, his catch radius. Tyson likes to be more comfortable catching the ball close to his body. He doesn't really get max extension by extending his arms on the catches. This limits his catch radius and gives the defensive backs an opportunity to make a play on the ball. Another concern may be press coverage. Defenders who play press on tape seem to disrupt Tyson's ability to officially get into his routes, but that obviously can improve in the NFL because he is good at route running. He just needs to get a little bit stronger at the point of release on his routes, and that will make him be a great receiver in this league. So, there's more positives than concerns, and I believe this could be the best wide receiver in this year's NFL draft. So once again, pick number 21, the Steelers select Jordan Tyson in round 1. Now, moving over to round 2, the Pittsburgh Steelers at pick number 53 select Avieon Terrell out of Clemson. So, this is a player who I believe will be the best press man corner out of the entire NFL draft. And the reason why I have the Pittsburgh Steelers having 4 rounds and 5 selections in this mock draft is I'm hoping they either use their 3rd or 4th round pick to trade up and get back in the running to be able to select Terrell. So that's what I'm doing in this mock draft. Now, looking at cornerback Terrell out of Clemson, he stands at 5'11", 186 pounds. And Avieon Terrell is a versatile secondary defender who is a ball hawk, intercepting passes and forcing fumbles. Yes, the Steelers already have JPJ and Jamel Dean, Jalen Ramsey, but I believe selecting Terrell could be a great selection not only for this year, but down the road to pair with JPJ long term. So when looking Terrell, he played mostly outside cornerback for his entire college career. But this past season, as he was getting ready for the draft, he wanted to show that he was versatile. So what did he do? He played a lot more slot reps. So I believe he should be lined up at the slot for the Pittsburgh Steelers, as we have JPJ and Jamel Dean for this season on the outside. So looking at Avieon Terrell, he's a player who has strengths of versatility, instincts, and creating turnovers, also tackling. And that's exactly what you want from your slot cornerback. His concerns, however, is his length and his durability because of his size. So let's get into his positives, however. Like I said, through his career at Clemson, Terrell has played multiple alignments in the secondary. He can play on the outside at the cornerback position and also kick inside to the nickel position effectively, just like he showed this past year. He creates turnovers, which the Pittsburgh Steelers love in their defense and what they look for. So that gives the Steelers a reason to look at Terrell at the cornerback position. He finished his career with 3 interceptions and 8 forced fumbles. His tackling is also really good, and this is also something the Steelers look at for their cornerbacks, and specifically their slot cornerback. So his tackling from multiple alignments on the field has been great, and Terrell has shown himself to be an effective tackler. He possesses solid overall technique and is willing to put his body on the line to make a stop. His concerns, his length, Terrell's testing and measurables were average to below average, but his tape is just so good in terms of his press that didn't really matter. His durability, because of his size, is also something that may be lacking. You could worry about him getting injured at the next level because of his size, but at the same time, he is a bigger slot than the Steelers have had in the past. He stands at 5'11", 186 pounds. So based off how he plays in this film, I would take the chance, and I would actually move up to get him if he wouldn't be there at our next selection. I believe personally he may be the best cornerback in this year's draft class, just based off his film alone. He's the best press man corner in the draft, and if you remember, Joey Porter Jr. was the best press man corner coming out of his draft as well. Me personally, it looks like the Steelers want to play more man-to-man on defense this season, and getting Terrell would be the best player available. And me personally, I love corners who play up at the line of scrimmage, not stand 10 yards back, because that's how you let up so many wide open receivers. Anyway, Avieon Terrell is a selection for the Pittsburgh Steelers in round 2, or potentially a trade up to get back in round 1 to select him. Now, moving over to the Pittsburgh Steelers' next selection. This is the trade they got for George Pickens, round 3, pick number 76 from the Dallas Cowboys. The Pittsburgh Steelers select Keylan Rutledge out of Georgia Tech. So, looking at Rutledge, he would slot in as the Pittsburgh Steelers left guard, and he's a really good player. He stands at 6'4", 316 pounds, and he's a broad-framed mauler with heavy hands and bad intentions. He ragdolls defenders, and he is a good pass protector, and also he should be really good at running in the offensive line. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they get someone who is mostly played at right guard in his career at college level, but someone who the Pittsburgh Steelers would need to play left guard. Isaac Seumalo is now gone. The Steelers have a hole at inside offense line. Their only real starter there would be Spencer Anderson at left guard, but I believe they need to fill this hole. And he is the best player available who I would want the Steelers to select to play that left guard position. So Keylan Rutledge is the pick in round 3 with their first selection in round 3. Now, moving over to the Pittsburgh Steelers' next selection, and this is also in round 3. Pick number 85. The Pittsburgh Steelers have selected defensive lineman Darrell Jackson Jr. out of Florida State. So, even though the Pittsburgh Steelers have a really good defensive line, you can never get good enough defensive line. And when you have a chance to get someone who is as physically dominant as a run defender as Darrell Jackson Jr., you have to pick him. He is a gap filler, someone who will be in the middle of an NFL defensive line with his combination of size, 6'5", 315 pounds, and his strength that can immediately help contribute on early downs at the next level. And that's exactly what the Pittsburgh Steelers need. Their run defense struggles at times, but also struggles for a large portion of the season. We've seen it. When Derek Harmon was out of the game, the Steelers' run defense allows 100 yards per game more. Yes, they signed a really good defensive lineman in free agency, but they also have Cameron Hayward, who's getting older in age. And this isn't a player who's going to come in and replace Cameron Hayward, but this is someone who maybe in 2 years, he takes over as the next guy. The Steelers have a really good defensive line right now, and Sebastian Day adds the run defense. They have Wyatt Black, who's also a run defender. They have Derek Harmon. They have Keanu Benton. They have Cameron Hayward. But adding Darnell Jackson Jr. is another player to add on the stacked defense line. So having those 6 guys makes you have one of the best defense lines in the entire NFL. And I can't skip over Darnell Jackson Jr. If he is there in round 3, you have to select him, even if you think your defense line is all that. Anyway, he's a selection at round 3, pick number 85. Now, moving over to the Pittsburgh Steelers' next selection. This is the one where I'm throwing up in the air. They either use their 3rd round pick or their 4th round pick to move up in the draft to select Terrell. So, whichever pick they did not use is the next one I'm using. So, whether that's round 3, round 4, Pittsburgh Steelers' next selection in the draft, I have them double dipping at wide receiver, picking Jeff Caldwell out of Cincinnati. So, Jeff Caldwell absolutely won the NFL Combine. And he was a player who you didn't really know which round he was going to get selected. But based off what he put up at the Combine, with this showcasing of speed, but also his statistics on size, it makes him move all the way up in the draft and make people keep an eye on him. Because he stands at 6'4.5", basically 6'5", weighing 216 pounds. He runs a 4.31 40-yard dash time, and his kind of statistics are crazy. He's a wide receiver out of Cincinnati, and he has a lot of good things on film. However, he has some bad as well, and I'll start off with the bad this time. He has a limited route tree and only really 1 season of experience against NFL talent at the college level, and also he'll need to add more play strength to deal with bigger and stronger cornerbacks. He allows himself to be bumped off his spots a little bit and kind of inconsistent using his size to his advantage. But however, he is good, and the positives are he's a long receiver with great speed and he can stretch the field vertically. He flashed huge catch radius with outside of his frame. He has really strong hands as well. He's sudden into and out of his breaks, so he has good route running for his size. He's a comfortable lining in the slot, which could be a big slot receiver for the Steelers, or he could play outside. Doesn't matter if they switch Michael Pittman to inside, he could play outside. And he is a nose for the end zone. So he wouldn't come in as the Steelers' third receiver. He'd probably come in as their fourth or fifth wide receiver. So having this guy develop on your team to reach his max potential with Mike McCarthy could be a really good asset for the Steelers down the line. So that's why I have him. He has a little bit of concerns, but his max potential would be amazing. So Caldwell, he is the draft selection for the Pittsburgh Steelers with their next draft pick. Anyway, this is it. This is my Pittsburgh Steelers 2026 4-round mock draft. So make sure you comment down below your mock drafts and your thoughts on this one. Do you like my selections, or would you have done anything differently? Also, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis, reports, everything surrounding this team. This is your best spot to keep updated with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, until the next video, I'll see you guys all later. That's it for me. I'm out. Peace.